Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is Ben. I'm joined once again, as I am every Friday morning, by Joel.
Good morning, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast.
And this is episode 23, 22, 21, 22, 23, 23, 22, 23. I think I put 22 on Facebook. It is episode 23, not 22.
23.
And it is a beautiful Friday. Cool weather has finally come into Houston,
it's
Texas.
It's beautiful.
You
had
can
the fan on 50%. We only had one fan on, I think.
Yeah, leave the doors open and you have the AC on, God's AC, which is fantastic. So we're enjoying that.
I've been riding around, taking advantage of this beautiful
It
weather.
is an excellent situation for Joel's motorcycle, so you will see the man cruising
Or any
the streets.
bicycles. Any bicycles,
Okay.
too.
There, ride your bicycle, whatever. Did you say
Be
bicycle?
active, y'all. Be active.
Okay. Because a bicycle's active. I was like, a motorcycle's not active. But
I was talking about cyclists.
I see what you're doing there.
I wasn't talking
Okay.
about me. Although I do have to be fully engaged when on it. So.
Okay, now let's go to that. Yesterday I had a thought as I was driving down the street. I think, you want me to accept the fact that bicycles should be on the road, correct? Like we should share the road with cyclists, okay?
Yeah.
So that's important to say. All right, however, then shouldn't there be, similar to you must have a driver's license to be driving a car, shouldn't you have a fitness test to prove you're capable of navigating the roadway on a bicycle? Like
with adequate speed?
Like, I'm sorry, but if you don't take care of yourself and you're not able to control your bike or able to go at a decent speed, I know you're not going to go 30 or 40, but like if we're talking like boardwalk cruiser speed, like, oh, look at the beach and the sunset.
Get your ass on the sidewalk.
Get on the sidewalk, right?
Yeah.
But I'm the asshole because I don't want to bicycle in the street. So I just think that, hey, we share the road with bicycles. That is awesome. But just as you should have a driver's license, there should be a fitness proficiency test to get your bicycle license for roadways.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, there should be something.
Maintain a pace for 10 miles or
else
plus.
don't ride your bike in the street.
Yeah. Sidewalks are nice.
Especially if, and did you know, I don't know if everybody knows this, but with technology today, you can actually see what streets have bike lanes. So that, like, let's say you're like, I'm not a great cyclist.
You can
look at
a bike route.
Find a bike route, okay? But if you're on a road with no bike lane and you are unable to, one, go in a straight line, that one drives me nuts when they're like a little wobbly. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And two, maintain a decent pace. And again, we're not being irrational. We're not saying 40 miles an hour, okay? We're saying, like, I would say 20. I would say as long as I can feel like I'm in a school zone.
I hate school zones.
15? Well,
what? No, you're going lower.
They can't go faster than 20.
25.
You can't.
J.J. Watt could run 22 miles per hour.
Okay.
If that big motherfucker could run, I'm sorry, folks. If that big dude could run that fast, you could cycle at least 25.
Okay. Then I don't know. Maybe Joel's correct. So if I would love 20 plus. I would love 20 plus. But you should get tickets if you can't go faster than 15.
Yeah,
the cops should pull you over.
Yeah.
Because, like, at some point you are causing traffic.
Yes.
Like, at some point. And I'm all for let's get more green effort out there, and people being active is so awesome. But, like, how long do I have to sit behind you?
Yeah.
Like, at what point is this ludicrous?
I'm burning more gas staying behind your
right.
ass.
You're ruining the environment.
More fumes. It's your fault.
You cycling and not taking care of your fitness and choosing to cycle means that you're ruining the environment.
Slow me down.
Okay, so you should have been eating vegetables earlier on in life. All right. Okay, that was not supposed to be the intro there. Is that a gray bubble?
Ooh, yes. Hello from the outside looking in.
Coffee today is brought to you by Boomtown. Is he out there? He's literally out there.
Yeah, that'd be funny if he is.
Joel made another visit to Boomtown this morning, and he grabbed us iced coffees, and we went two different ways here. Joel got the old Johnny Cash, which honestly, the only person I've met that knows what a Johnny Cash is Destiny. So I feel like she set us up. Because every time I mention it, even as somebody in her own at Morningstar, they still don't know what it is.
I'm glad you brought this up. Because at Boomtown, a Johnny Cash is a 6-ounce drip with 2 shots of espresso.
Okay.
So maybe that's what the actual Johnny Cash is.
Yeah.
And she says when maybe our drink is, in fact, the Black Wolf Special, but she just made a reference that, hey, that's a Johnny Cash.
So Joel got what we are calling a Johnny Cash. We'll just call it the Black Wolf Special. Joel got the Black Wolf Special, which is a hot shot of espresso into the iced coffee.
Yeah.
And then Joel got me the iced coffee with, or is this called cold brew?
On their menu it's iced coffee, but it's cold brew. It's
Okay.
definitely cold brew.
The iced coffee with a crack rock, which we talked about last week, is the iced espresso, or the frozen espresso
They
shot.
really should change that name. Because an iced coffee is hot coffee over ice. And a cold brew is brewed cold. And that's what they're serving.
Either way, I've got an iced cup of coffee.
It's for the people that don't know.
There's coffee and ice.
Now that I think about it.
And there's crack rock. And so we talked about, like, right when you brought them in, we tasted them both. And it's interesting. And we talked about the difference. They're both delicious.
Delicioso.
It depends on mindset. And, doesn't everything. Joel's, so that's the hot espresso shot straight in. That means that what's he doing? Espresso shot has already mixed into the entire cup.
First balls.
So they were cut off at 4 weeks old.
Oh, gee willikers, boy.
And he was a little puppy.
Broy.
We're talking about Jax. Jax was a rescue from the SPCA. They found his litter when they were estimating 3 to 4 weeks old. They did neuter. Is it neuter with dogs? No, spay and neuter. They did fix all the puppies, and then they were able, of course. I mean, he's a gorgeous dog, so
Jax.
they weren't hard to adopt or get adopted. But he was neutered or spayed or neutered, I think, at 4 weeks old, which is not recommended. I think it's supposed to be a minimum of 8 weeks or 12 weeks.
Oh my! Didn't stop him from growing.
Didn't stop him from growing. But I have wondered, like, testosterone production and stuff like that. Like,
I feel like that's a thing.
It's got to be a thing. He's very sweet, and I wonder if that. But I also like how he's raised.
Oh, there's that too.
He was always cared for, and like.
I feel like every neuter dog I see just seems like they're just real streamlined type dog.
Yeah.
Never really thick.
Yeah.
Unless they're just a breed that's naturally like thick.
Sure, it's pretty interesting to consider. But that's what we were just. Jax also has an affinity for finding lacrosse balls all over the gym, and then he hoards them underneath this couch. And so when I lift up the couch, there'll be 17 lacrosse balls. It's currently Black Wolf owns, I believe, 45 lacrosse balls because we keep having to order more because they disappear. But then I go outside, I look under the couch, and then there's half of them. So fun lacrosse balls.
Good old Jax.
But back to the coffee. I really recommend this. If you're like already ready to take on the world, you get what Joel got.
Yeah.
Because that thing, it's gonna go with you.
It's a punch in the mouth.
It's gonna be like, oh, you're excited for life? I'm excited for life. Let's be excited for life together. What he got me is going to be more of like an ease into it.
Yeah.
You're like, I might be excited today, but I might not. I don't know how it's gonna go yet. You get this. It actually has a sweet flavor to it to begin with, and then as the rock melts, then that coffee's in there.
You'll have time to think about whether you're ready or not, and at the end of it, you'll have a decision.
We talked about it being like mixing a drink in college where all the alcohol settles at the bottom, and so at the beginning you're like, ooh, this soda tastes great, and at the end you're like, this tastes like whiskey, but you're already too drunk to care. Same thing. You're going to be too caffeinated to care. You're going to slam it, and you're going to kick some ass.
Speaking of mixed drinks, for my weekend, I was bought a Long Island iced tea.
Wow, it's a Long Island
it's just
iced
called
tea.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
On 6th Street.
Yeah.
That was the. I couldn't drink. I got like maybe a third of the way down.
That's how they get you.
No, I got a third of the way down.
You don't drink.
I don't. No.
Yeah.
Like maybe a beer here
Were
and
they
there.
trying to put you out on one drink?
They were just trying to put me out, but
yeah,
it didn't happen. But that thing was disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I tasted all the vodka at the bottom.
Yeah. So the Long Island iced tea, it's basically just it's basically like trash can punch. It's just everything you can find thrown into a glass.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it can't be good.
It's supposed to be sweet. It's supposed to
there's
be good.
no rules. There's no rules.
Well, usually
and on 6th Street, on 6th Street, there's
that too.
Definitely no rules.
That's why I threw that in there.
On 6th Street, it's
Long Island.
First of all, the speed with which they serve, it is just let me get the booze in there and give it to you. And two, their audience doesn't need flavor.
No.
Their audience is like, I'm here to party.
Yep.
Okay, I
just came from ACL. I just need some alcohol in my system.
I was unfortunate enough. Actually, I was very fortunate. I was very lucky to spend 2 years of boarding school in Austin, a year of college north of Austin in Georgetown, and then 4 years of college in San Antonio, just south of Austin. So I was on 6th Street for better or for worse quite a bit, and it's not special in like an actual special way, but it's a unique place. It's a very unique place. But
waving back to people.
let's talk about that. How so we spoke last Friday. We had already done your birthday here.
Yeah.
And then Friday night you were able to go to dinner and go out. And then Saturday, Joel had a very long weekend last weekend.
Very long weekend.
Because he coached Friday night, then he went out Friday night, and then he coached Saturday morning, and then he drove to Austin.
Oh, I didn't drive.
Was driven to Austin.
This was driven.
Chauffeured.
Chauffeured, yo. It's my
And
birthday.
then was out on 6th
Weekend.
Street. I imagine not at a responsible hour. And
No,
then
we were out late.
then was coming home by noon the next day.
Yeah, it was tight weekend.
Very, very well planned.
It was.
very well coordinated. But
For being a last minute thing. That
so
was
Friday
kind
night
of
was
a
El
joke.
Tiempo, right? Well, what all did y'all do? And then
That was
what are the highlights?
That was dinner at El Tiempo, and then we went to some club called. Damn, I could never remember something company post company. Present company.
I just met the bar manager there.
Oh, cool.
He gets his haircut at Trendsetters.
Oh, well, that's
apparently
neat.
that is the it bar right now.
It probably
they make $30,000 on a Wednesday night.
Well, it's definitely cool looking. Like I definitely appreciate what they did with the play. Like I don't know what it was before. It was something. It was something else before. I don't know if the guy told you that.
No, he was somewhere else. He was brought in for present company.
Yeah. Well, it is awesome in there. Like it definitely has a cool vibe to it. They have all these neon lights everywhere with different like sayings and whatnot. And like that's one of the everyone was taking pictures with all the neon lights. Like neon lights there, neon light like different signs. And that was one of the big attractions. They have these chandeliers that are covered by colorful bird cages that look pretty cool. Like it's just a funky looking spot and it looks awesome. And it's they have this interesting LaCroix drink thing. That was weird. Like they cut the cap off a LaCroix can and
hey, does LaCroix have cockroach killer in it? Did you see that?
Who said that shit?
So someone in Beaumont is suing LaCroix, the company that distributes LaCroix, because they said they did a study that they found ingredients that hey, can you get that? Is that M&M?
I don't know what that is. It looks like a Skittle. I don't know what that
Who
is.
fed my dog a Skittle?
It's a runt.
A runt? I haven't had runts in here in a while, but I
Oh,
have had
right.
runts in the last
I haven't had a Willy Wonka. Oh, no, not a runt. What's the fruit ones? Runts are the tiny ones. The box with the little.
You're right.
That's a runt. This is
The fruit
thing.
ones. They're my favorite. I got them at the Chevron up here. I'm not going to know that.
There's a banana. There's an apple.
And there's a red one.
Yeah, that's the apple, isn't it? Or is it a cherry?
What's the green one? I thought the green was apple.
Might be melon.
No.
It's shaped like a heart.
I think the green's supposed to be apple, and I think the red's supposed to be cherry.
Yeah. That makes sense because the red one's the best one.
So
Red's always the best.
a company or somebody in Beaumont, I believe, suing LaCroix because they said that there's not. It started with it's not natural flavors.
Okay.
Because LaCroix says it's just water with natural flavors.
Natural essence.
Yes. And so
Whatever that
they
means.
were suing that, and then in the lawsuit, in the petition for the lawsuit or whatever it's called, it went further to say that an ingredient found in there are amounts of this chemical that's also used. Now, to be fair, let's also be clear. There can be also multiple ingredients in roach killer.
Yeah.
Like, what if they put sugar in roach killer?
Yeah.
Then I could say that if you put sugar in your cookies, oh my God, you use an ingredient that's in roach killer.
Yeah.
So be aware of the sensationalism here.
That person probably also drinks Monster energy drinks.
Well,
and Red Bulls. I'm just saying.
Hey, don't criticize Beaumont like that. All right.
I'm just saying.
Well,
Well, it's coffee. I'll take a Monster.
I don't put a lot of stock in the roach killer because I'm sorry that would have come out. If there were dangerous ingredients, that would have come out already.
You know how much LaCroix we've pounded?
I mean,
Still alive.
exactly. I mean, we're just stronger for it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you had a cool LaCroix drink.
I don't know. I didn't have one. I didn't have a cool LaCroix drink.
Saw a cool LaCroix.
I saw a cool LaCroix
They didn't
drink.
just cut the top off. That'd be dangerous.
I'm pretty. Yeah. I don't know how they. I didn't see the process.
They sand the edges.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a straw there. There's definitely a straw involved. But yeah, that was Saturday, and that was fun.
How late did
time.
you stay out that night? Do you close the bar down? 2:00?
No. We definitely we beat that because we wanted to beat the Uber the Surge.
Yeah.
Because around like 2 or whatnot.
Is that
like
over
this-
Upper Kirby? Like Kirby Westheimer?
Yes, that's Westheimer and like Shepherd
Okay. Yeah.
ish area.
Trader Joe's.
No, actually no. It's more by the Kroger.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you.
That's where it's at in that area. Yeah, by Slick Willie's.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
That area. So Montrose ish.
Yeah.
Westheimer Montrose ish. It's a funky looking spot. Like It's very artsy fartsy. There's like a whole wall that's nothing but plants. Like it's interesting. It's real interesting.
We should start doing that stuff here.
Right, just a wall of plants.
Why not?
Yeah, we could.
We already talked about the wall of old TVs.
You know what? And apparently you could tell when they're sad and when they need sunlight and when they're thirsty. I was talking to Diana about this, and she was like, as I'm typing this out, I realized how crazy I sound. I was like, yep, because she said she could tell when they're sad. Like when she moves them, if they droop, they're sad and they need more sunlight and
Her
water.
plants?
Her plants.
Okay.
She has plants.
So she might be crazy.
She might be crazy. She has plants.
Okay.
Because you
or
know,
maybe she's just connected.
You know, this could be.
Hey, we've talked about energy. Like all living things, we're all the same thing. We're all each other, and we're all
living things.
all organisms.
Life
and we're
is
the same.
life.
We come from the same. The energy's the same. So to be connected with the plant's not crazy.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay. Anyways, wall plants go on. What time did you leave? That's all I care about.
Sometime around. No, it was after 1.
What time did you wake up Saturday?
6:30.
Boy, I don't know how you do it.
I was ready to go too.
You were on. I mean, you weren't. I didn't notice you tired at all. I didn't notice you tired at all.
Nope.
How was Sunday for you? Actually, let's talk about Saturday. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Sorry, I'm a bad
Okay.
storyteller. How was Austin?
Austin was fun. Austin was great. That was a good time.
And had you been there recently? Like, when was the last time you went to hang out in Austin, not just
Okay,
like pass through?
the first time was for my 21st birthday. The second
And you're a
time-
whopping 26 now, right?
I'm a whopping 26 years old. In my late 20s now.
Stop
I've
it.
entered the late 20 game.
I don't think that's how you say it.
No? Okay. All right. Whatever.
Mid-20s.
still.
Still mid-20s.
Still in the mid-20s. I guess late 20s is 28.
I bet it's at
What's
least
27?
it's at least past 20. It's like 27 and a half.
Okay, 27 and a half. All right. So where are we at? So coach in the morning, did the 10 a.m. thing. Honestly, I made that an easy workout.
Y'all were done Saturday. So sometimes if I'm not in a great mood on Saturday, I sit in the office and wait for 10 a.m. to be done. And there are days where it goes for forever. And I actually was pleasantly surprised with how quick you wrapped it up. And I made a note. I was like, he wants to get out of here.
I made that one. All right, this is gonna be a team workout. This is gonna go by fast. Yeah. So that wasn't a terrible workout.
Shout out to Lulu and her running skills.
Yeah. Shout out to Lulu and her running skills. I'm sorry, I was your partner. Apparently, I'm all right at running. Yeah, I'm gonna just say I'm very good at running, and you're average at running.
There we
so
go.
it doesn't seem like you're bad at running.
No.
So we'll do it that way.
There
we'll
we go.
say it
Perfect.
that way. I'm a superb running machine.
So at any point, did you take a nap? Like, were you like, I got to lay it down?
On the way over there, I probably took an hour nap.
Okay.
Because I remember on the way back thinking, hey, I didn't know that was there. And like, yeah, you were asleep on the way over here,
Yeah.
bro. And I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was definitely cranky on the way up there because I was hungry.
Yeah.
So once I woke up from my nap, I was just like, meh, food.
Okay.
Let's
What
get some
were the
food.
highlights? Food or drinks, and then we'll move on because I'm sure people don't care that much.
I mean, everything was average. We had
Yeah.
fat sows for like
Okay.
dinner. I've never heard of it. It was Juan's idea.
Yeah.
It was all right. He'll praise it.
Yeah.
Then again, Juan will praise what's that diner over there by Delmar?
Oh, like it's some name. It's either Jones, like
It's not Rudy's. It's
no, it's there's two diners over there on Mangum, I think.
There's Jackie. I think it's Jackie. It's Jack's.
Yeah.
Or Jackie's diner or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's the one next to it.
Which neither of them are good.
Neither of them are good, but some people are like, oh, but it's the greatest. It's been around forever. Yeah, it sucked forever. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, the only thing good about them is that they're cheap. Like they're still priced the way diners used to be priced.
Yeah.
They haven't been gentrified. It's not some 30-year-old hipster
No.
slinging 3-day-old hash browns but charging you $30 for
Yeah,
it.
no,
They're
definitely.
like, oh yeah, this is like $2.50, and you're like, oh thanks.
Would you like some organic
Stop.
sea salt flavored butter with
Stop.
your hash browns? And that's how they sound. That'll be an extra $5 though.
Someone brings a wolf to the dog park. Some hipster.
Yeah, no. But when you could go to this spot, I'm sorry I forgot the name. You get a guy who rubs snot on his wrist, flips your hash browns, and just dumps it in your plate for you, and says,
Yeah.
"Here you go, bud."
Yep.
No extra charge for the snot.
Yep.
Enjoy.
Yep. And the other thing you don't get a wait. So there are benefits.
Yeah.
Cheap, no wait, because nobody wants to be there.
Yeah, and it smells like an old diner.
It does.
I've
So
been there.
you get nostalgia. So if like for me, my granddaddy,
It smells like the 80s.
there was a place, man, I think it's in Columbus. There's a diner in Columbus on the way to San Antonio on the way back that Frank's, that we always
That's
stop.
what it's called.
And
That's
so
what it's called.
yeah. And then so we would always stop at this diner in Columbus, and like it was well kept. They did maintain it better. But like I have a little nostalgia. So like if I sit in an old diner with a torn booth and stuff, I like that part of it. But as soon as someone goes like, "Oh my God, it's amazing!" Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
It's not amazing.
What are we doing here?
You
All
know
right.
It's amazing. Snooze. I've been there once. Definitely overpriced. It's a great experience once.
Yeah, I'm not sure we have to go back.
No, we don't gotta go back. I'd rather go to Denny's.
Yeah,
I'd rather go to Denny's or IHOP.
I'd rather not visit any of those places.
I actually haven't been to any one of those in forever.
It's all the same now, though. It's all like egg-based dishes. It's like a Mexican restaurant or Mexican menu where like the combination plates. It's just different varieties of like one enchilada and 2 tortillas or 3 enchiladas and 1 tortilla. It's big eggs and 1 sausage link or 3 sausage link and small eggs and do you
One
want grits
waffle.
or do you want a egg muffin or it's just different varieties of the same stuff.
You want sausage or bacon?
I can't get up for the gray bubble. So okay.
So yeah, Fat Sal's. That was an interest. It was all right. It wasn't as good as it looked like on the menu. The online menu, I was like, oh,
Frank's and Oak Ridge. Yes, Janai. That's right.
Janai knows everything.
So Frank's is in.
Shout out to Janai.
Frank's was the name of the place on the way to San Antonio, and then the Oak Ridge Smokehouse is also absolutely. If you do the road trip to San Antonio, absolutely worth visiting.
Oh no, you know what's worth visiting when you go to San Antonio? Lulu's Cafe.
Where is that?
That's
is that
right off
Luling?
of 35
That's
by
not,
downtown.
Okay, bro. That's not. We take I-10 to San Antonio. 35 goes from San Antonio to Austin. That's a north-south road.
Well, then it's north of San Antonio.
That's fine. But I'm just saying. On the way to San
Lulu's
Antonio.
Cafe is as good as an answer you can get from me. But they got the world's biggest cinnamon bun.
Do you know where that is? Is that New Braunfels?
No, it's in San Antonio.
It's San Antonio.
It's definitely San Antonio.
Huh. Interesting. Cool, man.
Definitely San Antonio. Lulu's Cafe or whatever. Biggest cinnamon bun. They were featured on what's the guy the hungry guy?
Diners, drive-ins, and
No,
dinners.
not him. Not crazy hair.
Gaffieri?
Man vs. Food.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, huge cinnamon bun. That's definitely a great once a year trip.
I don't support gluttony.
Oh, this thing is massive. It wouldn't even fit on this game thing you have right here.
3-pound cinnamon roll at Lulu's. So good. Thank you, Taylor.
Yes, it is. It is not healthy for you.
So, moving on from the fun stuff, there's a lot of stuff happening, man. That's exciting.
That's everyone waving. I gotta wave back to them. They like when I wave.
They just like making you stand up. For those listening on the podcast, we are on Facebook Live and Instagram Live, and Joel made the mistake of responding with a wave to one person.
So I gotta wave some more.
And now
Anyways, Fat Sal was all right. After that,
I forgot we're still telling the story.
we got ready, and then we went out, and then Whataburger was the final place we ate. That was way better than Fat Sal's. And I haven't had Whataburger in so long, I was not feeling
like
great.
2 a.m. Whataburger or like the next day Whataburger?
Oh, no, like 2 a.m. Whataburger.
Yeah. 'Cause
Like,
you ate Sunday too. Like it's not the last place you ate.
actually, we didn't do breakfast because we had to come back very, very early. Breakfast was like go to Starbucks, and then Shipley's. I was like, this isn't food, guys. I'm hungry.
Speaking of Sunday, we got to congratulate Angie on getting married.
Congratulations, Angie
Congratulations.
Garza. Now, Angie Garza. Well, I mean, she hasn't. It's not official, but like it's gonna be Garza.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So congratulations, Angie, on getting married.
Congrats,
And that's
Angie.
not. I mean, I believe you, but like I'm gonna say,
That's why we came back so early.
I still call Robo-Show, and I'm not gonna change that.
That's true.
I still call Kelly Vance. And
That's true.
I'm just not going to. It's not gonna. It's too much effort, and I'm gonna be bad at it. So I'm just
Yeah.
not gonna commit to it.
And then you got to ask, like, so are you yet? And like, no,
Yeah.
not yet. So right, but it's coming. Like,
Yeah. No.
I kept both last names, so now it's Vance Gamble. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Everybody's gonna be fine. Everybody's gonna be fine. But congratulations, Angie. That's
Just call you by your
fantastic.
first name.
And so she's had a big year. She got a big year,
Huge year.
huge year, and somehow she still has energy to train hard.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty amazing, Angie.
And
Awesome,
almost
awesome,
die every time.
Awesome. So let's talk about next weekend. Next weekend we got Battle Buddy 57 here at Black Wolf CrossFit, and this is the second year in a row that we're hosting.
Can't believe it's
and
already here.
It is already here. Here's your daily reminder that you're going to die soon, so you better be living the life that you want to lead. Take that seriously. Stop not listening to that because Battle Buddy was yesterday, and now it's here again.
You know-
So
You know what's cool?
what's cool?
Almost a year ago,
Yeah.
I was in the parade.
Oh, yeah. Well, it hasn't happened yet, so it's not a year yet.
It might happen
So
again.
You'll get it.
If it happens again, I'm gonna find a way to get back in that parade.
Of course you What Joel's referencing is that when the Astros won the World Series last year, he was
World
able.
Series parade.
Not only did he watch the parade downtown, he was able to get involved on a float in the parade, and I think
It was a
photos were
tank.
posted, and somehow he got locally famous.
I was on a damn truck with the camera just
Yeah.
That was fun.
Looking like a goon. So
I did look like a goon. They also looked like it also looked like I didn't train legs. They had this weird angle on me, and everyone was like, "Bro, do you even do legs?"
Weren't you sitting? And
I was sitting with my legs straight. Just
Yeah,
on
that
top
was
of
right. You did
top
look.
of that tank.
It was a weird angle.
It was a horrible angle.
But Battle Buddy 57 is a fundraiser that raises money for Texas Children's Hospital Neonatal ICU. So this money goes to support the men and women that work in the NICU to save the babies, okay? Save the preemies. And we want to support that. We actually have a lot of people here that either spent time or have family members that spent time in that particular neonatal ICU and others around the country.
My sister did.
See, there we go.
7 weeks.
Sitting on the couch. 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
That's up to 49 days, man. That's crazy. That is awesome. And if you haven't met Adrian hangs out here 2 or 3 evenings a week. And so she's pretty awesome.
Headphones and phone.
Yeah, she won't
and
talk
all.
to you until the very end of the day.
If
and
you
then
say hi, she'll just throw her hand up
Yep.
and then put it back down.
she might say hi once they're about to leave.
Brutally honest with you.
Yeah. Also, she's awesome. She ain't gonna lie about how ugly you are. And that's
She will not.
fantastic. To your face, not behind your back. She
Yeah.
won't say it behind your back.
It's in your face.
Hey, do I look bad? Yep.
Yep. She'll like think about it. Yep.
That's very Elon Musk of her. Maybe she's a genius. That wouldn't shock me at all. It will not shock me. No offense to you, but if in like 5 years we find out Adrian's like smarter than everybody in your family,
I hope so.
like I think you're smart.
I'm just saying.
You have a smart family, but well, you're smart.
No, for her sake.
What? I think she's gonna come out. And she's gonna conquer the world. But so I mean that's the story right there. Adrian spent 7 weeks in the NICU. Chad Stevens, who created the event and has been the driver of the event pretty much by himself, and his family helps. He has others that have helped him, so I don't want to take credit away. But I mean, really, this gets done on his back. His daughter Olivia spent 57 days in the NICU, and so
Hence the name, folks.
these are amazing. These two, in particular, two amazing women that were able to survive and thrive in life. Now, I mean, Adrian is absolutely thriving. She's functioning as a completely normal human being, and that's not always how lucky kids get,
For the most part.
especially if those NICUs aren't funded well or they don't have the doctors, don't have the staff to take care of those babies. So this becomes really, really important. And so what we do is, or what Chad created was this event. It originated as a single event, I think in 2010. Hope I got that right.
Yeah, thanks to me, done.
And it was the workout originally is called Olivia, and it's 57 reps of 9 movements.
It's a lot of movements.
7 movements or 9 movements, and
Yeah,
they're all
that's 9.
movements that everybody could do. So from the start, this was an event that everybody, CrossFit and non-CrossFit alike, could participate in. And so what we've done now is we've evolved the event. So the year of the fundraiser has come and gone. Back in 2010, we were very happy to just give money for a cause, and if it was an easy workout, that was fantastic. And what we're trying to do now is, as athletes become better, one thing, but also have higher expectations, we want to evolve. So this year we're going to add a second event. So you'll go through the original Olivia workout with a partner, and then you and your partner will take on a second event, which will take place out front. And so it's going to be a great opportunity. We would love to have a few more volunteers. We actually have quite a few signed up, and I would love if I could get 5 more. So if you have time next Saturday, the time frame would be 7:30 to 12:30. You're going to get some free stuff. Our vendors are coming through, gift cards, some shirts, stuff like that. You're going to get some free stuff, but also you're going to help facilitate a fundraiser where the money actually goes to the cause. And I'm not – this isn't the fun thing of like, oh, well, if you donate to the Red Cross, the CEO gets richer. What I mean is like there's so many events now where the gyms make money. I just signed a team up for the Energy Games, and I had to pay $400. $400 for an event. $400 for an event. That's ludicrous. It's not a fundraiser. That money doesn't go to a good cause. It goes into somebody's pocket. It also helps facilitate the event. That's great. But, like, $400 for an event. They better have top-notch judges. They won't. They better have top-notch workouts. They'll be okay. And it better be a great facility. It's a middle school. For $400.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just – I would rather see.
And that was just a team.
That was just,
That's just
exactly.
one team.
If you register individual, that price per person goes up. And so paying $100 between 2 of you, and with a majority of that money, because some of it does go to the T-shirt printing, and some of it does go to getting some of the raffle prizes together. Actually, those were all donations this year. So really a majority of that $100 is going straight to Texas Children's, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Chad doesn't get paid by this. We're not charging the event for using the space. It is free for them to use. And so all of the money here is going to go to Texas Children's Neonatal ICU.
You're just the middleman.
We're just here to help facilitate, give y'all a great experience. And we did a good job last year. Thanks to the team here, we were able to put something on that a lot of the athletes are repeat visitors to Battle Buddy, and they said last year was the greatest event they had been to. And so we're hoping to plus that experience for them again this year, and that'll be next Saturday. So if you haven't signed up either as a participant or to volunteer, please do that because we could really, really use your help, and we would love for you to participate. And if you are participating, you can also volunteer. We can absolutely use you around your workouts, okay?
Yep.
So that moves us on. One other quick reminder. Yesterday, Adam and I recorded a podcast on the first reading of Better Than Before. Sorry, I'm not in frame on Instagram. Better Than Before by Gretchen Rubin. And that's the next book in the book club. We just completed the first reading. If you wanted to hop in, you absolutely still could hop in. It's only $5 to participate. And we can send you the study guides. It's a fascinating read so far. We're about 100 pages in. It's an easy 100, though. You'll catch up quickly. The next assignment's only, I think, 40 pages, so it's not going to be hard for you to maintain that. But we did the first podcast. Check that out. And even if you're not reading, I would encourage you to listen to the From the Library episodes because it's more about personal growth and growth hacks. It's not about did you read the text. And so go ahead and tap into those and let us know what you think. And then yesterday, Joel mentioned that we should mention this on the podcast. I went to therapy yesterday. I go to therapy every other Thursday, and I've been going to therapy for about 18 months now. I was not raised to believe in therapy. I was not raised to think that psychiatrists and psychologists had a role to play. I thought it was for the weak. I thought it was for people that didn't have God in their life. I thought it was for people that just were hopeless and couldn't get their shit together. And I could not have been more insensitive, by the way, but more wrong. And so I started going to therapy about 18 months ago, and nothing has ever changed my life more. Nothing has ever changed my life more. And so it's something that we want to normalize. We want to allow the conversation to happen. A lot of us have stuff that we need to process, and a lot of us do not have access to somebody, one that's educated or trained, but even that we can open up to truly, that will speak to us without judgment. And so sitting down with a therapist, whether it's long-term like me, like in 18 months is not long compared to people that have been going 5-10 years, but even if you just want to go and be like, look, I'm going to come 4 times, and if it doesn't work, I'm not going to stay. I think at a minimum you got to commit to 3. I think it's the first time is going to be weird. It was very similar to me to going to AA. The first, honestly, I had to go every week because of court mandated stuff. I'll tell you that story later. The first few times I'm in there, you're like, I don't want to come back. I hate this. This isn't working. And then it clicks. And with therapy, you have to give it a chance to click, kind of like working out.
Yeah.
I came twice in my free week. And it didn't really click. I'm like, well, no shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a hard thing to get into. It's a hard thing to see when all you can see is the suffering. And if you just sit down with your therapist the first time, all you're going to dig into is like the repressed memories. And you're going to leave feeling ugly. It's the 3rd and 4th session where you're able to start making the progress. So I posted on my Instagram, Dr. Alan Schneider. I would always tell you to start with him, not because I think you should go to him. He's a little expensive. He basically takes my rent money, I'll just be real candid about that. But I would rather pay him than pay rent right now, and that really because I think it's so beneficial. But what he can do is he can outsource. He can refer. He has this cabinet top that's just full of cards. And basically, he'll meet with you, he'll talk to you, and they'll be like, this is the person that you should sit down with, or this person takes your insurance, or this person is more affordable to you. And so I think Alan Schneider is a great place to start. He's at Fountain View in Westheimer. But again, go somewhere. And if you don't feel it with the person, please do not write off therapy. Be willing to try someone else, okay? No, therapists have not yet adopted the first session's free model, even though I think they could, like a gym does. Like we offer a free week.
They should.
I want you to make sure that you know that we're the right place for you. And I think therapy should be the same way. It kind of sucks that you got to pay $100 on the first visit or $150 or $200 on the first visit, and you don't even know if it's going to work. Mm-hmm. I think that prevents a lot of people from going. However, please understand, if you don't feel good energy from that person, or you don't feel a connection, you do not have to stay with them, okay? No matter what they say, you are able to search, okay? If you want to just talk to me and you want me to refer you out, because I can talk to Alan, I can get you another name. I've got a list of names that were recommended to me, and the person that found me, Alan, also gave me 4 other names. I can refer those. Like, do not write off one person. Just because you had one bad trainer doesn't mean you should stop working out, in my opinion. Okay. So,
and you could feel the energy, you know. You could feel those vibes. Like, that shit is real. You could tell when someone's being authentic or when someone really does care about you and really doesn't care about you.
it's
almost like instincts.
It's always bothered me when
Damn, that's good.
when people are like, I don't know if I have a good coach. Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And you're like, but I don't know about what I'm doing. I'm like, it's not. It's about connection.
Yeah.
It's not. I agree that you might not be able to assess whether their expertise is there.
Mm-hmm.
Did he or she say the right words?
No.
But that part's not even important. What's really actually important is the connection. Do they care?
Yeah.
That's what defines a good coach. And so if you're working with a coach and it doesn't seem like they are connected, that is your red light.
Yeah.
Not, oh, they didn't know external rotation.
Yeah.
And there's so many great coaches that don't use the term external rotation. Like, there's no terminology that is exactly right.
Yeah.
And so when you go into a CrossFit gym, like, I think that you are already able to assess whether it's a good place because you can say they connected with me or they did not connect with me. And if they did not connect with you, especially by your second visit, get out. Get out. Get out. Therapy's the same way. If you don't feel connected, if you don't feel they care, okay, if they're constantly forgetting what you talked about last session, if they don't seem to take notes, actually the note thing, like, Alan does not take notes, and he can, dude, he doesn't write a damn thing down. And I come back 2 weeks later, and he's like, yeah, last time we were talking about this. I'm like, what the hell? So I know he takes notes after the session, but he never writes in the session. Anyway, sorry.
So he doesn't get distracted.
No, that's
soak it all in.
It's exactly it. Because he's trying to make contact. He always wants to be connected. It'd be a lot like if we started writing while we were coaching.
Yeah.
Well, are you watching?
You know what? That's another thing is if you see your instructor, your coach, your therapist writing, you're like, what are they writing down?
Yep.
You're now distracted from
That's
what
true.
you're supposed to be doing.
Because you'll say something, and especially if you say something that's vulnerable,
And then
you're like, wait, what'd I say? What are you writing down?
Yeah, what's going on now?
That's not the point at all.
That's probably what he's doing.
Yeah, and so we're trying to kind of step to the forefront of normalizing therapy. I'm really excited. I actually think I can't talk too much about it because it's not going to happen, but I think we're about to expand our podcast network with 2 people that are not a part of this gym.
Yeah, we talked about that last Friday.
I think
You know what? Also, I think keeps people from going to therapy. They probably think it's only for crazy people.
I completely agree.
And people are like, I don't want to go to therapy. I don't want people thinking I'm crazy.
And that's why. So yesterday, I was. There was someone on Instagram that posted, the H podcast posted, which is a Houston-based podcast. They interview great people around the city. They talk about great things of this great city, so I'd check them out. He posted his walk. He posted some art that he passed by every time he went to therapy. And then he went until there was Mental Health Day 2 days ago, I think. And of all the days, man, hey, it's National Donut Day. Hey, today is Steak Day. Today is Puppy Day. Today's Brother Day. I hate it. I feel
like every day is some national day that I've never heard about.
Because there's no governing body of national days. Nobody's like, sorry, it's taken.
That's true.
Today's National Velcro Shoe Day. Where are your Velcro shoes?
I feel like I've seen this National Dog Day like 5 times this year.
That's the other thing. Is anybody keeping count of how many times it comes up?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure National Coffee Day is going to come up once again. National Donut Day is probably on there.
I've seen Coffee Day twice. I know I've seen Coffee Day twice.
I think every day is National Coffee Day. You know what? Because I have one of these almost every day.
So he posted that his walk, and he said in there, it's Mental Health Day, National Mental Health Day, and I want everybody to know that I go to therapy, and I want you to know that you can too. And he said, because I believe that every single one of us can benefit. And I think that's what's important.
Mm-hmm.
Look, not all of us are able to admit that we're fucked up.
Yeah,
okay?
We're all crazy.
Not all of us are able to admit.
I was just telling someone this yesterday, that too.
Well, it's truth. And not all of us are able to admit the most obvious thing. You know what's a fact? None of us have this figured out. I mean this as in life. Nobody has this figured out.
Mm-hmm.
But some of us can't even admit that. Even though we know. You'll look at me, and I will know that none of us have it. You'll be like, I have it figured out. I think, no, you don't.
Not even Jeff Bezos has life figured out, and he's making millions by the minute.
He's doing everything you think a successful American's doing. Neil deGrasse Tyson, who has the education that you think would make you have it figured out, he doesn't have it figured out. Like, he openly says he doesn't know. Like, none of us have this life figured out. And so for us to not even be able to admit that means we definitely won't admit we have trauma. We definitely won't admit that we have unprocessed baggage that's holding us back from living our best life.
Jeff Bezos is almost making
So here's the deal.
billions a week.
I don't want you to admit that. If you can't admit it, I'm not going to push you there. Here's what I want you to think about, because this is what I got. This is how I got into therapy, and it's the dumbest way, okay? I started to read about how really successful people visited their therapist every week. So I came from a different angle. I said, oh, wait, so therapy doesn't have to be just for the broken.
No.
Therapy can be for people that want to be better at what they're already great at. And it was like, oh, shit. Now, here's the reality. I'm processing where I'm broken. Absolutely. But in return, I'm getting better where I was already good. You know?
Yeah.
And so I think that if it's an ego thing, and it's fun to poke fun at people with ego, but we all have ego. It's all hard for us to admit that we're overweight. It's hard to admit we're not taking care of ourselves. We're not the best parents. We're not the best bosses. We're not the best employees. We're not the best students. We cannot admit that because our ego prevents it. Okay? It hurts too much to say. So instead, we can play on pride. Guess what? You can be more proud. You can be even more badass if you go to therapy, okay? Because that therapist is going to help you improve yourself to excel even in the areas you are already amazing in, okay? So whether you want to look at it like I'm in a depression and I don't know how to help myself, go to therapy, or I am wildly successful in my field and I want to be even more successful. I want to continue to evolve, then go to therapy. So both parties can go now, but everybody should go to therapy. It has to change because we also need to be able, now that I go to therapy, I can be more empathetic to Joel. When Joel brings me some cockamamie shit, I'm not going to be like, well, that's dumb. I can be like, oh, whoa, okay, all right. Even if in my head I'm like, that's kind of a weird thing. I am still able to breathe for a second and be like, well, I know I've said weirder to my therapist. So, like, I know what it's like to struggle with something out, kind of out of left field. It makes us more empathetic to what we hear. We're less judgmental, and we're going to calm the F down. If we could have conversation, we will kill the conflict, okay? If we can understand and be more empathetic to one another, then we can kill all of this turmoil and all of this bullshit.
Yeah.
So you owe it to yourself, but you also owe it to everyone around you to get into a therapist's office.
Debate, don't argue.
There you go.
Debate.
Maybe even converse,
argue.
don't debate.
Well, yeah. Well, ideally,
Like, debate still kind of comes from there's got to be a winner.
True. You gotta prove your point.
I would like to just start with conversation. Because you can tell me why you believe something without needing me to believe it. I talked to my therapist yesterday. That was a significant part of our hour, was like, I have no desire to make you believe what I believe.
Yeah.
The only time I will get on you is when you are taking away from the quality of life of someone else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then I'm going to step in. But if you're like, God is a purple turtle, awesome, man. That's fantastic. That is amazing. I hope that your purple turtle God is the greatest God ever known.
You know, someone's got to be wrong. Someone's got to be right. Everyone's got different beliefs.
And that's the part. I think that's what we have to erase. Nobody has to be wrong. Nobody has to be right. Yeah. The only people that should be wrong are the people taking away from the quality of life of others. That's it.
Yeah.
If you want to believe some dumb shit, and again, I shouldn't even say that. If you want to believe some non-traditional stuff that does not impact anybody but you, go for it.
Do it.
God is a queen ant in the anthill out front of this building. Awesome. Praise the ant god, okay? As long as that ant god didn't tell you that blacks don't deserve the right to walk on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You know? That's when we get away from it. Yeah. And so you believe whatever the hell you want to believe, but that's where we have to get to, okay? Forced belief, forced opinion is tearing us apart, but we're doing that out of fear because I need you to believe what I believe or else I'm insecure about what I believe.
Yeah.
And if I go to therapy, I can talk my way through that and we can erase that. Okay. Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
Go to therapy.
I don't even know how we got. Oh, therapy. That's how we got there.
Yeah, this book. So, my therapist gave me a book yesterday, "Way of the Peaceful Warrior" by Dan Millman. And when he handed me, I was like, "I know that name. Where do I know that name?" He goes, "I don't know where. He's an athlete, but I don't think you know it from that because he was in the '60s and '70s and a gymnast." But I realized Tim Ferriss. A lot of his interviewees have read this book, so it's exciting that someone recommended it. So I'll let y'all know how that goes. That's what I'm making my way through. All right, let's lighten it up. Coffee's delicious. You just said that. So once again, go to Boomtown, get that espresso. My crack rock is now melting. My coffee's getting more serious.
Sweetness is going away.
You know what's awesome? It's not, though. It doesn't melt that fast. It's still, there's still a substantial
A lot of ice in there.
mass. Saw the Joe Rogan special.
Which one? Oh.
The one you told me to see.
Yes.
I've seen it twice now.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
Awesome.
It's pretty damn good.
You know,
He's getting
and
a lot of praise for it.
and it's really, really good. And what I loved was
Great
kind
bubble.
of honestly playing off what we just talked about. He doesn't take sides.
Nope.
What I love about Joe Rogan, and I was thinking yesterday about we need to reshape this podcast. I want to start bringing some elements into it. But one thing was like, we mention Joe Rogan every single time we talk.
Yeah.
But you know what? The reality is like, one, we enjoy him, and this is about us.
Mhm.
But two, the way he presents and his ability to kind of see all sides and consider all sides is something to be pursued,
He's
honestly.
he knows how to have a conversation
But
with
like,
anybody.
he walked on stage and he got political right away. Like, not right, but like kind of one of the first jokes was a little bit presidential.
Yeah, yeah.
But and so you're like, well, and I mean, if you're a fan of that, that's awesome. So I'm kind of okay, yeah, and then, but what I'm like really happy about is then he goes, and if you think Hillary was any different
Yeah,
just because she was a woman,
yeah.
ladies, are you telling me we can't do better than that? Like, it was both
Yeah.
because our current political system's ridiculous, and to pretend that Trump is that wildly egregious compared to what else is out there, like, it's all a disaster. It all needs to be burned down.
There wasn't any great choices.
No, exactly, and he plays on it. So I really appreciate he kind of played both sides.
Who do you want as a friend, a liar or an asshole?
That's it. That's it right there. And so I enjoyed that. I'm not sure if I've watched anything educational recently. I don't know.
I tried watching that debate between the vegan guy and the keto guy,
Yeah,
but it was just two guys citing research
Yeah.
that believed in one and the other believed in the other. thing,
right.
and-
But back to debate. Like,
and
nobody.
They're both healthy.
They're
and-
entrenched and
Yeah.
I
I think whatever it goes back to whatever works for you.
Yeah.
As long as you're not imposing on others, keep doing what you're doing.
So that leaves us with
Joe Rogan said he got a lot of shit from vegans. I think he was joking again though, off his vegan segment.
So I want to speak some. George just mentioned that, like, in the Latino community, I actually think in a lot of minority communities, therapy is kind of there's a stigma attached to it. He says, and I completely agree. I think in all communities it is, but I think especially in the machismo of the Latino community, like, men are supposed to be men.
Yeah.
They're not flawed.
You go to therapy, man.
Yeah, you kill your 24-pack of Budweiser every Friday night.
That's therapy right
Like,
there.
that's it. That's my therapy. Like,
Damn it, I missed
and so, but it's a lot also like, you know what else in the Latino community is finally changing
Gritos.
is working out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what we
That's
don't?
it's the majority of our community right there.
I mean,
I
but-
think so.
Well, I think so too, but it's female,
Yeah.
not male.
Yeah, what the other males doing?
The males come in here. The male. It's funny because we have a large Hispanic contingent in our community. I would say a majority of our athletes are of some Hispanic heritage. But it's, again, majority female. Now, there are, of course, men that fall into this category. But what will happen is we'll do an event, and the husbands and the boyfriends will come in.
They're just sitting around.
Ladies.
They're watching.
Ladies, I love you. I love you. You're my athlete. I love you. I really do. Some of you need to take inventory of your relationships. Some of you. And I'm not judging, but I am, because I care about you. I don't care about them. They can be whatever they want to be. But, I mean, ladies, like, your man doesn't work out. Your man doesn't care for himself. Your man leaves you with the kids. Let's assess. You got one life to live, and you deserve a partner that's going to take care of you. I just want to say that right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have that, that is awesome. Good for you to just disregard. But let's check in on that. But I think, like, fitness is another thing. And I think it kind of starts because you know what's relatively new? The fitness community. Like, in the 60s, there was no fitness community. There was no gyms. There was no jogging. There were people that worked out, but it was very niche. And so this came in the 80s and 90s. Well, you know what was also in the 80s and 90s? Racism. And so, like, if I open a gym, you know who's not coming in? Blacks and Latinos. So, like, it's kind of the same idea. I don't think that Latinos or I don't think minorities have had access
Yeah.
And I mean, they haven't had access to education, they haven't had access to nutrition information. It's all the same stuff. And I think therapy is one of those things, because now not only were there not therapists that were catering to the minority communities, and also sitting down with a therapist, oftentimes you're going to feel more connected to someone like you. So we need to find Latino therapists and Black African-American therapists, Asian therapists, people that can relate directly to these minorities. But I think that it's an access thing, and when you don't have access, we can often like stigmatize it.
Yeah.
Like if it's something I can't be a part of, I criticize it. And then that compounds and compounds and compounds.
And
or
it's,
if it's
again, being comfortable, like you said, like there needs to be more Latino therapists, more Black therapists, so that way the client can feel comfortable with that therapist. Because if they see someone else, they're like, how does this person understand what I'm going through? Like, can they empathize with what I'm going through? Like, I think there's that too, that need for comfort.
It is very easy. So Alan Schneider, my therapist, is I think 68 or 70. So he's a 70-year-old white man. Okay,
Schneider, yeah.
He's a 70-year-old white man. He's been doing this for like 50 years, like since he was 20.
Wow.
With school and then interning and then all this stuff. And so it's easy for me to be like, and I think I do believe he can connect with anybody. And we've talked about the diversity in his patient pool, but I also understand that I'm also a white man. And so it's easy for me to be like, well, yeah, my white man can connect with anybody. And I do believe he can, but if it's also about me. If I was suddenly a 40-year-old Hispanic woman, I might not feel that way.
Yeah.
And maybe it's all my fault, but guess what? You got to play the hand you're dealt. And so if you feel like you will only connect to someone that is similar to you, and we could say that's closed-minded, but when it comes to therapy, it's really important that you set yourself up for success. And
That's
so
it's a big one.
So I think,
What's it say?
yeah, Taylor brings up a very good point. Oh, I think we need to do a whole nother podcast about this because
Probably because it's already
we're gonna-
8:17.
I don't know how to read this comment without
Why can't you read it?
because it says see more,
Oh.
but it won't let me see more.
Just don't click see more. Just click on the bubble itself. No,
No,
it's not gonna let you.
Pin comment, like comment. I'm just gonna like it. Taylor, I'm gonna get back to your comment. We're probably gonna build a whole podcast episode around this. I'll do a Feed the Wolf episode on this. But yeah, I think anyway. Sorry, get to therapy.
Basically, what is it? What's
He's saying that he has a degree in psychology, but he does nothing with it because the income ratio is bad. It's really tough.
I actually heard that like years ago from a psychology teacher.
Yeah. No, I mean the reason therapy is expensive is because they have to charge a lot because you got to make your
no one
money.
goes.
You paid so much money to get your degree because master's, PhD, like all this. That's money. Back to college should be free. How can we serve the community with education if we got to pay millions of dollars for it? So
And the tuition's still going up.
cost income ratio for therapists is rough. Thank you, Taylor, for concise. I'll read that bigger comment later. Yeah, Mila, it is not all in your head. I was not told that, but that's how I was raised to believe, and that's what I ended up believing for a very long time. And sitting down with someone, it was such a relief just to be able to realize it wasn't in my head, to realize it was real. Depression, anxiety is real, okay?
And that there's multiple people going through it.
You're not alone. You are not alone in dealing with whatever it is that is on your mind. No matter how wildly irrational you think it is, or your parents told you it was, or your friends, or your girlfriend, your boyfriend. I've had it all, man. Like, and to be fair, I've never spoken to my parents about it, so they're not at fault at all here. But I've had a girlfriend that very much was like, no, it's you. And so sitting down with therapists and just being told it's not you. It's Good Will Hunting. I know it's a white movie, but go see Good Will Hunting. Matt Damon, one of his first roles.
I haven't seen it.
I mean, Robin Williams is the therapist, and the most powerful scene is Robin Williams looking at Matt Damon and saying, it's not your fault. Like, I'm sorry I spoiled it for you. It's in the middle of the movie. It's not the end of the movie. But, like, when he says that, that's it. You're going to cry. You're going to cry. You're going to cry. Go watch Good Will Hunting. That's your homework assignment. We're going to talk about it next Friday. Joel's going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. We're going to watch it by next Friday. We'll talk about it.
Cry.
Okay. Let's have fun.
Forrest Gump makes me
McGregor, Khabib. I did not watch the fight. You were out.
I didn't get to watch it, but I heard a lot about it.
Okay. So I mean, the easy is like, let's get to the brawl. But like, first of all,
Brendan Shaw predicted that happening. Not to a T, but he
said something was going to happen in the
said
stands.
something was going to happen.
And something kind of did in the corridor, but then they stopped that pretty soon.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
So let's have some
You got
fun
the
here.
Irish and you got
First
the
of all,
Russians.
Khabib whooped McGregor's ass.
Some would argue it wasn't an ass whooping.
Well, he landed the only big punch, and he laid on him for 2 full rounds. What is that?
Yeah, so in the first round, nothing was going on. And
Right.
this is based on what I hear from people who are experienced fighters.
Right.
Not much happened in the first round. Second round, Khabib dominated. Third round, Conor actually won. That's the first time Khabib has lost a round in his 27-0 record.
That's insane.
His 27-0 record, that's his first round he's ever lost.
That's insane.
And then fourth round, well, Khabib submitted him.
What I don't understand is he's 27-0.
27-0.
And now you go to that detail. He's lost one round.
Yep.
One round.
It's the only round he's lost.
How have we not heard of this guy?
Oh, I mean, he's popular. He's definitely popular in the UFC space.
In the MMA community.
Yeah. But MMA is still small. Not everyone is everyone's more boxing still over MMA.
Yeah.
Boxing's
I think it's
dirty
interesting
sport.
because back in the mid 2000s, UFC had a lot more access to eyeballs, and so you knew when Chuck Liddell or Tito Ortiz or Randy Couture or Rich Franklin or Matt Hughes was about to fight, even if you weren't a big UFC fan, and you knew, and they had losses. All of them had. I don't think any of them were undefeated for a long period of time, but they were great
George
fighters.
St. Pierre.
And yeah,
everyone knows GSP.
Yeah, and so, but now this Khabib guy has been doing work, and you know it's funny because I listened to that Joe Rogan podcast where Matt Schaub said that Khabib's camp thought this wasn't even a fight.
Brandon Schaub.
Sorry, whatever. Matt Schaub, quarterback.
Just in case.
I think he's still in the league, by the way.
That guy.
Like third string, just taking paychecks.
Who knows? He's with the Raiders.
Not winning the games. But yeah, Brandon Schaub said that Khabib's camp was like before the fight was like this isn't even a fight. Khabib's gonna just murder him, and they both Rogan and like that seems wrong.
Yeah.
Because one, Conor can hit you backing away. Like that left hand can get you even while he's getting away from you.
He's popular for a reason.
So what I want to get to though, because I don't know how to break down a fight. I just know that Khabib is awesome. Now the other stuff involved. Third round, Conor. I have to believe he knows he's going to lose because why else would he say this? He says it was just business.
Well. There's that aspect of it. They're both getting paid.
Right.
Paid.
So my question is, what's too dirty in terms of talking shit?
Oh, Conor McGregor has no filter.
That's what I'm like. Because he clearly was saying, because Khabib. For those that don't know, Khabib is Russian, very religious, very family oriented, and so like in America, when two fighters are like, "Yo, screw your mother, she's fat." Like, I hate you, man. You suck too. Like, that's all it is. And is it appropriate? Who knows? I think it's weird. I think it plays like the gladiatorial part where like haven't we evolved past this?
People want to see that. There's a reason why it's
uneducated people want to see that.
So the money's at
like
they're willing to throw the money.
That's fine. It does hype the fight, but like Khabib takes it differently. And Khabib's never fought someone that is a trash talker, and nobody's a trash talker like Conor McGregor. And to be fair, McGregor absolutely does it to drive up the price or the revenue from the pay-per-view. And every time
that's
Conor,
what you have to do nowadays.
And every time Conor has lost, he's been very humble, which is strange because you're like, oh, this arrogant prick. But like, if you look at all of his losses, I think he has 3.
Yeah, he's usually like that was good.
He hugs the opponent immediately.
Yeah.
And I've always been, there's other fighters who do that too. It's weird to me. You run your mouth, it happened to me in soccer all the time. People would trash talk. I went to boarding school with a lot, and then we were played on these club teams. There was a soccer academy, so we were some of the best players in Texas. So our club teams would always play each other. So they would run their mouths during school. Run their mouths. And then I'd whoop their ass. And then suddenly they're like, no, we're good. I'm like, no. You said all that stuff. Like, you don't, this isn't, what is this?
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, it go both ways. Like, one, you're either super duper confident, and one, you have to be in any type of competitive sport. You can't go into any sport without any courage. Otherwise, you're not going to win.
Right, but what does that have to do with like disparaging someone else's culture?
There's that. That's your way of getting into their head, or the other way. The other thing, you're scared as shit too. Yeah. So you have to make it look like I'm confident.
Yeah,
I'm ready to kick your ass.
And I think you bring up a good point. The mental warfare.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's gamesmanship. And Conor, it's a tool that's worked for him.
Yeah.
Did he fight Alvarez?
Alvarez, yeah.
Alvarez. I think
he
that was
Alvarez.
Alvarez was normally a calm dude,
Yeah.
like normally real cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
And they said that Alvarez got shook
Yeah.
by Conor's talk.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so it works.
It
There's
works.
something to that.
And it worked on Khabib too.
But well,
Khabib could have not done what he did at the end of that fight.
Obviously.
And he said if they fire his it's either his dad, like for being a coach,
Yeah.
he's leaving too. And he says they could keep the money.
I like him a lot.
Like, yeah, they said like if they fire him, you lose me too.
It's a weird situation. I think the only guy that's really going to get fired is the guy that jumped and hit Conor from behind, the red jacket guy.
Yeah. There was another guy that did it too. After another guy came too.
I think the other guy was the guy Conor hit. Conor
Who
jumped
knows?
up on the ring first and swung at somebody and then came down. I think the first guy came in and that was the guy Conor swung at.
Yeah.
That's the story. The red guy's the only guy where like he was behind him,
Yeah.
like, and he
Cheap
threw
shot.
multiple punches.
Yeah.
Like, what a
It was crazy.
bad situation.
And then there will be a rematch because there's money in that. But that won't be for like another year and a half or so, depending on Khabib's suspension. So they'll probably have fights before they fight again.
Well, I think they said that Khabib will fight the guy that was so bloody or did the bloodbath fight.
Nate Diaz.
No. In 229 in the same on the same card.
Oh, Ferguson.
Yeah, Tony Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, that fight was apparently the fight of the night.
Yeah, that was him and Pettis. That was a good matchup.
Yeah, they
Ferguson
said
got that one.
I think the rumor is that Ferguson will be the next contender.
That's what would be the next big draw.
And the other question is like,
also no one draws in a fight like McGregor's.
Absolutely,
it's a big drop off after that, and it's because of his demeanor, his shit talking, his attitude.
Do you think McGregor's on the way out in terms of we care for him?
Nope.
Like, I already don't care for him as much as I did 2 fights ago.
No.
It's already gone down because he's so loud. The throwing in the bus, it's too much. It's too much.
He's definitely wild, but I'll still watch his fights because he's a good fighter.
Watching is fine, but like it's like Ronda Rousey. It went from like, oh my gosh, Ronda's fighting, everybody stop, to like, I'll see.
Well, it's because when she lost, she had a super bad attitude about it. Like, she was not she was a sore loser.
She was a sore loser.
She was a sore loser because she came out like super duper hyped, and as soon as she lost, it was like she couldn't handle it. But now she's crushing it in WWE in wrestling.
No, she's found her place.
McGregor though, like, he's not a sore loser.
No, you're absolutely right.
He's a good fighter, and if he loses, he'll congratulate you. Hey, that was great. Can't wait for the rematch.
I wonder if they'll do a rematch.
They'll do a rematch. There's money in it. There's money in it.
Yeah, now that there's all this, especially with, I think it was just the fight. I mean, although the fact it's like a movie now.
Mm-hmm.
If you make one, you're gonna make 3.
Yeah.
You know, and you just, even if it's bad,
it's like Canelo and Alvarez. There's gonna be a third one.
It's gonna be bad. Yeah, that's a great example. Like,
there's going to be a third.
The boxing Canelo Alvarez. Hey, Mexico, get the corruption out. Like, come on, what is this trash?
Yeah. Also, like on that one, like that actually lost some steam because Alvarez got caught with whatever. The Mexican beef did it.
Well, and not to mention, didn't even the fight cards, like, they were corrupt. Like, it was very clearly.
It was the first fight was like what, and then tie, and they're like, okay, well that's because there's gonna be 2 more fights.
Right.
And then this one they gave it to Alvarez, and then people are like, oh, I don't know about that one. It was a good fight. That was a good fight.
Yeah.
Like that one for me, like I don't know the score from regular eyes. That could have went either way.
Interesting.
But yeah, there'll be another Conor and Khabib for sure. Conor's the biggest draw of the UFC right now. The biggest. No one comes close.
I think that also says something though about the state of the UFC.
He's a good fighter and he talks shit.
You know who's actually our boy from Houston?
Oh yeah, no, he's my balls is hot.
He's gonna fight Cormier next, right?
That's what they would like to see.
I think they're on the card for Madison Square Garden December.
That'd be nice.
I saw that, and I thought it was too soon, but I think that's what it said.
Speaking of Cormier, the next biggest draw apparently would be Cormier versus John Jones again. But Jones keeps getting pinned for some bullshit. So.
Yeah, like. Okay.
If he didn't fuck up so much, he'd be the top guy. He'd be the biggest draw.
Absolutely, but he can't. I mean, maybe 3 years ago. When was the last time he fought?
Last time he fought was Cormier, and that was like last year.
I feel like it's.
Or that might have been this year.
I felt like that was like 2 years. Was that a brief non-suspension?
No, he's still
I
suspended.
feel like he's been right, but how did he get a fight? I feel like he's been suspended.
Oh no, like before that fight, it was years. It was like two.
So he
years.
got unsuspended, fought, suspended.
Yes.
God, Jones, come on, man.
Yep.
It's hard to remember how good he was. He was so good.
He was the best. Like, if he wasn't in the situation he's in now, he would be the best. I mean, he's honestly still considered the best. He just
Well, there's no way to know though.
if they create a sport where you could take anything you want, he'll probably be the best.
Sure. But it's also like, what if McGregor hadn't taken a year to box?
I'm kind of shaking.
Okay. Well, go have fun.
I have to pee first.
All right, y'all. Thus concludes episode 23
Thus concludes
of C&T.
the episode.
Thanks for listening. Go
I'm
to
not gonna
therapy.
pee. They're already
Enjoy
out there.
life. Live your best life because it's going to be over soon.
Live
I think
your
you're
best
awesome.
life.
Comment what you liked, what you don't like. More questions. We love it.
Spread the positivity, yo. I'm out. Thanks
we
for tuning
will
in.
see you next Friday after we watch Good Will Hunting. Peace.